Hi, everyone. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, America's #1 small business expert. And I'm so excited to welcome you to another edition of the SmallBizChat podcast. Today, I have the A team of sales in the house. We're going to talk about sales from every angle. We're going to focus on internet marketing. We're going to talk about if selling makes you feel uncomfortable. I have an expert here who's going to break down how to make it feel like you're helping and not selling. And if you are tired of scrounging around for customers, I've got a sales expert here who's going to talk to you about how it might make more sense to treat your business like a private club instead of a public park. This is especially important if you're trying to boost your sales before the end of this year. You don't want to miss my guest expert, the internet marketing nerd, who is going to break down the selling secrets of building a business online. And if sales overwhelms you, you're in the right place. We have an author who's going to break down how humans sell. And if you think that your business could benefit from really focusing on a hyper niche, my expert is going to break down exactly how that's going to work best for you in your business. Here at the SmallBizChat podcast, our mission is to end small business failure. This is a peer-to-peer mentoring show where we give you advice from multiple angles. We want you to take your business to the next level, and that is why we do what we do. The SmallBizChat podcast can be seen on my Small Biz Lady fan page and on my Small Biz YouTube channel. Now listen, if you like what you see today, feel free to subscribe. You want to make sure that you do not miss another episode. Now, tonight's guests are Paul Getter. He is the internet marketing nerd. And we have author Catherine Brown. She's the author of the book, How Good Humans Sell. And we have Dawnna St. John, business coach and CEO of the Fire brand. And she's going to bring the fire, talking about how to grow your business through coaching. And I am excited to hear from all of them. So now what I'd like to do is introduce my very first guest, Paul Getter, the internet marketing nerd. In 2009, Paul was broke, struggling, and delivering phone books out of the back of his car. After teaching himself about the power of internet marketing, he created the Internet Marketing Nerd and quickly became one of the most sought after marketing experts in the world. He has spent over $1 billion running ads. Y'all heard me. That was billion with a B. Running campaigns for himself and for his clients. And he has scaled numerous businesses into eight figures per year. You can get more information about him at paulgetter.com. Paul, welcome to the Small Biz Chat podcast.
Melinda, thank you very much. You're amazing. This is going to be exciting.
I am so excited to have you here because you have such an incredible story. So you are an overcomer. You are a survivor turned social media superstar. So I got to hear the story, Paul. You got to tell me how you got down and how you got back up. That's what I want to know.
Right. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your show. Again, you're doing amazing things, and it's a blessing to be a part of this great group of individuals that is helping inspire and motivate people to do better things. So again, thank you very much for having me here. So I've been blessed to work with some amazing people, A-list celebrities, Fortune 500 companies, big personal brands online, but it wasn't always like that. As you mentioned, back in 2009, I was delivering phone books. I don't know if some people even know what phone books are. It was actually, they used to deliver a book to our house that had everybody's name, phone number, and address. Well, talk about no privacy. That would never happen today. So I was delivering phone books out of the back of our minivan. And I remember one of my friends told me, they said, "Hey, Paul," they were going off to college, and they said, "You need to get on Facebook to stay connected." And I remember going on there and I'm like, this isn't for me. I don't have time for this. This is a waste of time. And I bailed on it, but I eventually jumped back on. And at this time, I realized that there was businesses, there was companies that would make their presence online and, start up little Facebook pages. And so I decided, I might as well do that. Well, I didn't have a business at this time. I was delivering phone books. It's not like I could really set up a Facebook page. I'm the phone book deliverer. I don't know if that would be very marketable, but I set up a Facebook page for my church and put it out there, service times and everything. And I remember a couple weeks later, a family showed up and I went up to them. I said, hey, good to have you here. Where'd you hear about us? And they said, oh, we saw your information on Facebook. And it was like, a light bulb moment. I'm like, wow, these are real people. They really came here. And I quickly jumped, seeing that there was an opportunity to help small local businesses. So I started reaching out to pizza shops, ice cream shops, restaurants, chiropractors, saying, hey, you need to get on this Facebook thing, and started helping them grow their business online. And so I guess you would say after that, the rest was history.
Well, it's interesting. I saw a quote about you from a conversation that you had with Kevin Hart when the first time Kevin Hart met you. And you were thinking that, he was supposed to be like laughing and joking, like cracking jokes and stuff. And
yeah.
I'm from Philadelphia, so, I'm a huge Kevin Hart fan. So, but in fact, he was very serious and very much wanted your information. And I thought that was really interesting, because you would think celebrity people, got people that handle that, right?
Yeah.
Versus him personally wanting to understand how to grow his business online.
Yeah. That was something that I quickly saw. And this is early years, 2009, 2010, that people really did not understand. Like you say it now, hey, you need to be online for your business. It's like, yeah, but this was a day that people wanted to be on the radio. People wanted to be on television, and they didn't realize. I mean, if you would have asked a kid 20 years ago, they'd say, oh, I want to be a movie star. Now it's like, I want to be a YouTuber. That's how media has evolved. And so yeah, there was business leaders, there was entrepreneurs, there was companies, and there were celebrities and large personalities that quickly learned it was probably really important for them to be online. So we had celebrities reach out to us, Fortune 500 companies, help them grow their presence online.
Interesting. So what are the essentials you think of internet marketing now? Because back in 2008, 2009 versus marketing online in 2022 is a different game altogether. So what do you think it takes to really be effective with online marketing right now?
Yeah, well, I think what we're doing right here is a great example. Content, educating, informing, adding value to your audience. You can't just, there used to be a day where you could post a picture of food and you would grow a following, now it's about providing value for people, educating, informing them, inspiring, motivating them. There has to be solid content. So you have to differentiate yourself from everybody else. You have to be a voice and not just an echo. So number one, content. Content is key. Then secondly, community. You got to have a community, people that you are actually pouring into. The danger of social media is people allow it to be just media. Like a television is just media. What makes Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these platforms, social media is like you can talk to the people that are giving you the content. I used to think that I could do that as a kid on TV. I would sit there watching Sesame Street and they're like, hey, little boy, how are you? And I'm like, hi, and I'd freak out. One day they're just like, hi, Paul, how are you? I'm like, oh, they can see me. And so I was a weird kid sitting there in the room by myself talking to the television. And I didn't realize for a long time, I think I was like 33 years old when I realized that the people on TV really couldn't see me or hear me. I'm just kidding. I was younger than that. But that's the thing about social media that makes it so powerful, is that you can talk to the people. And you can talk to the people that are watching you. So engage with your audience, talk to them, listen to them. Don't make it just media, but make it social media and engage with them and build that community. So that's what makes it different is content and community.
I love it. So we know now that social media is like the number one sales channel, but there's a difference between followers and conversions, right?
Yeah,
so how do we get people out of this? I need followers versus I need customers. Like how do they make this conversion?
Yeah, I always say this: likes don't pay the bills, comments don't pay the bills.
Well, you know what's preach it. Yeah. Preach it. Okay, tell them, because I see all these little, I call them new business Barbies out here trying to, showing you their Bentley that they rented and they want to take pictures in front of. And I'm always like, wow, do people really buy from people because of what they have versus what they know? It's really scary what's going on out here now. And I see so many people getting just fleeced for money from people that don't have any idea what they're doing.
Yeah, there's a big difference between clout and cash. You know what I mean? Clout isn't paying my bills. Sales pays the bills. So yeah, I think that every individual probably has their own approach, how they connect. There are lifestyle entrepreneurs that they show their lifestyle or their want-to-be lifestyle, and that attracts a certain demographic of people. Then there's individuals that will sincerely educate, mentor, give people value. And I'm sure some of your other guests will speak to this at a higher level. But, if you're really providing value, you're really giving, you're really serving people, there comes a point where they're like, sell me something. I want you to sell. You don't have to push to sell on them. They're just like, please, I want to know more. I want you to give me more. So yeah, it is, there's more than just posting pictures, posting contents, getting likes and comments and things like that you do have to have a process that you can turn those eyeballs into conversions.
So talk to me a little bit more about that. Is it about ads? Is it about sales funnels? I mean, tell me, if I'm just getting started, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to build my little brand on Instagram. Okay. What should I be doing, Paul? Tell me.
First of all, let's just say that you are building this social media platform with the intention of building a brand, making sales, having a product or a service that you're going to monetize. Number one, you want to, first of all, determine, do you have a product or service that is marketable? Because running ads to something that isn't good is not going to solve the problem. Like if you have a bad product or service and I run ads to it, doesn't mean you're going to get sales. It just means more people are going to know you have a bad product or service. So you want to have a good product, something that has been tested, that this is a good offer. So that starts organically. That might start with friends and family. That might start with your, few hundred or maybe thousands of followers that you have that you're testing. And so what I like to do initially is do what we call a case study. Maybe you present this offer in a free or a very entry level price. And then you give that to the people, you test it, and you get their feedback, you get their testimonials, you get their input, and then you begin to improve it. And then after you see that people are, it's delivering, it's giving them good value, then you start to transition into paid ads. So organic first, then paid ads, and you have to have proper systems in place to capture these leads, to capture these sales, whether it's a funnel. We often use the term funnel, and what differentiates a funnel from a website. A website is kind of like a static, informative, hey, this is all about me. And people just kind of wander and look and observe, but there's no real objective or direction that you want them to go. A funnel is they come into your world and you're going to give them something and you're slowly going to push them to a final objective. That final objective might be purchase my product, set up a call, fill out this application. But there is, just like a funnel, like the funnel that you put in the car that you pour it in and it goes. Some people are like, I know about funnel cake, but I don't know about funnels. But that's what a funnel is you take them from some big broad, they're coming in a big door, and you bring them down to a final point.
Love it. Love it. So ads are organic first, give some validation, get some social proof, and then ads. Okay. So if I'm just getting started with ads, what is the right platform to test my ads on first?
Oh, that's a great question. So you have to you have to treat social media platforms like a family reunion. And so it's like this. When I go to the family reunion, there's my aunt, there are uncles, there's cousins, there's grandpa. When I go to grandpa, I'm going to talk to him differently than I talk to my cousin. And the danger that people do is they put out content or they try to run ads all the same, and they try to think that their offer is for everybody, all platforms, but that's not always the case. So you have to find the platform that connects with your audience the best. LinkedIn might be the platform where your audience is. TikTok, if you've got a product that connects with a younger audience, you might want to check out TikTok or Instagram. LinkedIn is more of a business type of audience. So you're going to have to determine, is my offer the best suited for this platform or that platform? And then, you kind of determine what is my budget that I'm willing to invest to acquire a sale. Initially you're probably going to have a high budget. Like if you're selling $1,000 product, you better be willing to invest a few $1,000s to test things. You want to get that initial sale, and then you begin to optimize and refine and improve your messaging and stuff. But the first important thing you have to do is define which platform is going to be the best for your audience.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. So I know you talk a lot about, if you want to grow your revenue, looking at Amazon. And I wanted to talk to you about, what are some of the best ways to stand out on Amazon if that is how you're going to sell your products and services?
Yeah. So when it comes to Amazon, you can learn so much there just by going to the best sellers, going to individuals that already have a track record. I always put it this way: success leaves clues. So go to the ones that are already doing good. And the beauty of Amazon is you can see the reviews. You can see the ranking. You can see, is this best selling, how long it's been there. And that gives you a blueprint to see things that have already been tested and already successful. It always concerns me when a client comes to me and they say, Paul, I have this amazing idea. It's going to make millions of dollars and nobody is doing this. And they think, and nobody is doing this is going to be the thing to like, oh, awesome. That's great. But when they say nobody is doing this, in the back of my mind, I'm saying there's probably a reason why nobody is doing this. There's probably 100 people that tried that. And that's why nobody is doing this. So it's a lot easier to find something and improve it, modify it, add your flavor, add your angle, your experience to it, and make it better for your audience than try to develop this amazing new secret formula that nobody is doing.
It's funny you say that, because oftentimes if an entrepreneur comes to me with that, I usually think they haven't done an effective competitive analysis, because I was like, your audience is being served some kind of way by somebody. I promise you. That's why there's 3,000 different types of shoes, right? Crocs didn't invent shoes. They invented a different kind of shoe that was more comfortable, ugly, but more comfortable, right? So I think
absolutely.
I think that you really do have to direct entrepreneurs. This is all of us, teach and coach entrepreneurs. it's always like, oh boy, here we go. When somebody comes at you with something like that. Now, I know that video marketing is the most effective kind of marketing out there, right? Probably second only to, influencer marketing is very effective as well. Can you tell me some of the best ways that small business owners can leverage video marketing right now?
Yeah. So there has been kind of an evolution when it comes to video marketing, that when social media first came out, everybody tried to do what they were doing on television, but now do it on Facebook. So it was a very polished, refined commercial type of videos. And that worked for a certain period of time. Now it is more of a native type of ads, because what people have learned is like they can scroll, and when they see an ad, they scroll faster. They're like, oh, I don't want to see an ad. You know what I mean? Click next and everything. But if you can connect with your audience in a way where you can make an ad and they don't even realize it's an ad until you're like, and here's my product, so that is probably the most effective ad video marketing, is when you can do it in a native way where, it's like product placement. I've seen individuals that do, like, come on, let's talk about it, Melinda. You're doing it right now. You've got your book right there behind, like we don't see it or something, but it's product placement. You got it right there. And so that is one of the most natural ways to do it, is it's just subtly placed in there. It's not pushed or shoved down anybody's throat. It's providing value. It's connecting. And then, oh yeah, here's the product that can help you.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, listen, you have been dropping so many gems, Paul, but we got to take a break. And when we come right back, we're going to talk more with Paul Getter about how to leverage internet marketing to grow your small business. Are you ready to become a boss? Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. Click the button below and take my free boss quiz. This assessment will help you learn your entrepreneur type and find the right business model for you. Get this information about the number one asset in your business. Yeah, that's you. Welcome back, everybody, to the Small Biz Chat podcast. I'm Melinda Emerson, your host, and I am so excited to have the internet marketing nerd, Paul Getter, with us today. All right, Paul, you got to tell me, what is your favorite online marketing hack?
Online marketing. I can't tell you that's like give me the gold. That's what you're really wanting. Okay. So, I tell people to do this. If you do this, you will grow, you will get sales, but it's work. Everybody wants this like thing that just, mysteriously sales appear, but this is what you do. You find, let's say, I don't like to use the word competitor because I don't believe anybody's any competition. We all serve our own audience uniquely, but find people that are doing similar things to you. Let's just call him John Smith, is doing similar things to you as you. Your audience follows John Smith. Well, what you want to do is when John Smith posts a post, people are going to start to like, people are going to start to comment. And I'm using Instagram, for example. People are going to start to like, people are going to start to comment. So number one, you're going to have to follow him, turn on the notifications. When he posts, you're going to be one of the first persons there. Number one, you want to try to do a viral comment. Everybody tries to do viral posts. I encourage do viral comments. So he posts, you make a comment that adds value, that is like a zinger, that's something funny, or that catches people's attention. Well, people will start to like your comment. They'll start to check out your profile, and all of a sudden you'll start to see followers coming your way. So that's step one. Step two, all the people that have liked and commented on his or her post, you're going to also like one of their posts, comment on one of their posts. Again, this is going to take you 10, 15 minutes to do this, but what you'll see is you're almost kind of like growth hacking. You're bringing attention to your profile, getting targeted followers because you know that they're engaged, they're connected with someone in the same niche as you, and you'll see the followers in people start to message you, and you'll see a nice, solid, organic growth from that.
Love it. Love it. That's a great hack. All right. So getting your crystal ball, looking to the biggest marketing trends for 2023. What do you think is going to continue? And is there something new you think people are going to start doing?
Yeah. So, number one, TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, I would start to check out TikTok. If you just look at the growth pattern of TikTok, it is outpacing all social media platforms. So get on TikTok. It's not just kids dancing anymore. There's doctors, there's lawyers, there's business owners on TikTok. So get on TikTok. It's still early enough for you to get on there and not be lost. So get on TikTok. As far as trends, this is something we have to be keenly aware of. Artificial intelligence is growing so rapidly. The days of being the best marketer, the best copywriter, the best ad buyer, it's going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. I really think there's going to be a day that you just pick up your phone and you say, hey, marketing platform, I want you to make an ad for this product or service for me. And you push the button and all of a sudden it writes the copy for you, says, use this image or this image, make some videos for you, and then boom, it's done. So being a good marketer is going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So that's why it's going to be even more important that the content that you deliver, the personal brand that you have, your product or service is better than just a good ad.
I love it. I love it. That is so key. I hadn't even thought about it like that. All right. So what is the best business advice anyone has ever given you?
Make a whole lot of mistakes. So, yeah, I mean, that's so I think for myself, I have missed a lot of opportunities because I am paralyzed by perfection. Oh, it's got to be right. It's got to, let me fine tune this. And I failed to launch things, get things started because it's never perfect. It's never the right time or it's not good enough. So I have to push beyond that, and just make imperfect action. When you look at it, every successful business software company has launched imperfect. I remember when Facebook first launched, there was so many bugs, there were so many glitches, and you know how it is. Software, if you go to the App Store, every week they're making updates. Making an update is they're fixing something, they're improving something. So we have to be in that mode where, hey, we'll launch beta, we'll launch imperfect, but we have to take action.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for making the time to be here. You have just been blessing our audience with so many pearls of wisdom, but stay tuned. We're going to bring you back in a little bit. But next up, we're going to talk with the author of How Humans Sell. So if selling makes you really get nervous or anxious, I got the lady here that's going to break it down. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and I want to welcome you to Small Biz Lady University. Our mission here is to end small business failure. So all of the courses here are about two things: how to become your own boss or how to make money online. So that's what we do here. So whether you want to learn about email marketing and sales funnels, or you're ready to get started with social media selling, or if you're really just getting started with e-commerce, you might want to jump into our How to Sell and Market Online course. Either way, if you want to learn how to become your own boss and do it well, I have everything you need here at SmallBizLadyUniversity.com. If you have any questions or have any technical problems getting signed up, just email us at support@melindaemerson.com. Take care. Welcome back, everybody, to the Small Biz Chat podcast. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, your host, and I am so excited to have our next guest. Small business owners' biggest fear is selling. But we have an expert here today who's going to help all of us learn how to feel better about sales. Think about it like helping. So with that, I want to introduce my next guest, Catherine Brown. She's a veteran, 25 years B2B selling, and she launched her first sales consulting firm in 2003. She now runs a sales training firm called ExtraBold Sales, where she coaches others to sell with confidence. Her sales system includes psychological research that gets to the heart of why people don't sell effectively. In her new book, How Good Humans Sell, The Proven Path to B2B Sales Success, she combines the best sales practices with social psychology principles. And her training can be used in combination with other sales training programs to help sales professionals overcome that hesitation that keeps them from closing more business. For more information, you can go to howgoodhumanssell.com. Catherine, welcome to the SmallBizChat podcast.
Thank you so much. I love to sell. I love to help other people enjoy it more. And I'm really glad to be asked. Thanks.
Awesome. So let's just jump into it. So selling is the life's blood of any successful business, yet it's people's biggest challenge. Why is that?
Yeah. So I think, unfortunately, we always will have what I call bad actors with us, right? So there are people who are manipulative in the way they sell, or that have somehow made you think that the definition of selling is always persuasion. And they think, I want to be like that. So I just to test this theory, whether this was the case, I actually did a whole bunch of research prior to launching the book. And what I showed is that business owners as well, I mean, it's so sad, Linda, but it's also their employees that they hire all demonstrate that they hold some reluctance and concern about being perceived as too pushy. So it's really a universal problem, both for the employees and their employer.
So how do people get a reputation for being sleazy? Or like if they feel like sales is sleazy, how can they get over that and do what they got to do to sell for their business?
Yes. So one of the first things we do is I always talk about all my talks and all my training. We talk first about noticing your beliefs. So I really love the word notice. Okay. NOTICE. I love the word notice because it tells me that I want to pay attention, but it is not a judging voice. Many of us that are high performers have a real internal driver that has a strong should. You should have done this. You should have done this. That is not helpful kind of talk. So when you notice that you feel anxious, or you notice that you're holding back because it's time to follow up, but you feel anxious, the first thing to do is literally to slow things down and take stock of what you're observing. Because what happens is people have this feeling, then that's how they interpret, let's say my mouth is a little bit dry or my palms get a little sweaty. Well, because I already think sales is bad, I'm automatically going to interpret those physiological symptoms negatively, and then I'm going to run away from whatever it is I'm supposed to do. And the problem is that this happens in 3 seconds. So by pretending you're in a movie, right? I'm going to slow things down and walk yourself through. I 100% believe and have observed that people can change the trajectory of their selling and the way they think about it by first taking stock and asking themselves, is what I'm believing in this moment true? Right? I'm afraid this person is going to be mean to me. I'm afraid they're going to think that I'm bothering them if I call them. But how many times has that actually been the case, right? To really take stunning takes a little bit of observation and slowing down to begin with.
So how do people, but sales is so important, especially to new business owners. Like, how do you go learn sales skills?
Yeah. Super question.
Unless you came out of a corporate sales job, you don't know how to sell.
No, you don't. You don't. And most people, of course, you heard in the subtitle of the book, most of the people I work with sell a product or service B2B. All that means is you're selling something to another business. So it could be anything, right? It could be marketing services. You could be a CPA, you could be a lawyer. You can actually have a software product. You can make a physical product. You can make an office product. If a business is buying it, that's what B2B means. Most people who start businesses have a skill set in a service or invented a product, but nobody expected to have to sell. And so, especially when people raise money, one of the first things they want to do is they want to go use it to hire someone because they just want to get out of the job as fast as they can. I mean, this is just a very common problem. So I think it helps. My first answer to you would be, if you know you're weak in sales, think of sales in two buckets. One is to think about literally the foundations of my beliefs. Do I believe I deserve to have a successful business? Do I believe that what I'm offering is really making a difference to people? Do I really believe in what I'm selling? Do I see sort of the grander purpose of what it offers? We always think if a product or service actually delivers a transformation of some kind, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a Starbucks coffee. It's like, I am all of a sudden transported back to vacation because when I go on vacation, I drink this drink, right? Whatever it is. Transformation is really what people buy. So getting all those beliefs in check is one line of training. Then the other line of training is, how do I bring people in? What is the combination of marketing? What do I ask them when we first have our sales call? That's the part people typically think about as sales training. The case I'm making is that you need both. You actually need an inventory of your beliefs. You want to build on a strong foundation. The good news is you can continually improve your beliefs and learn the tactics of how to sell. You need both.
So when you think about this, okay, so you're saying I need my emotional EQ stuff tweaked.
That's right.
And then I got to go to somebody like Paul Getter and understand how to build this landing page, how to build these funnels and all, all this kind of stuff. Right. So what I want to understand, though, is like, if sales happens in stages, because we know there are different pieces of the funnel, right? There's brand awareness, then there's consideration, then there's the purchase, then there's, retention, and then advocacy. Then how do you have to learn each piece? Or is it?
Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do if you're B2B. You do, because someone has to initiate. This is the process, right? In different words from what you said, someone has to initiate with someone else. So it's either what I call a hand raiser, and someone who has received your marketing or has clicked on your ad or has downloaded something from your website and wants to have a conversation with you. Or you see them and you think, this is the niche I work with and I would love to work with that person. And you actually send a sales email and you invite them to a conversation. It doesn't matter. Whomever initiates with someone else, that's always the first stage. We have a conversation. There's some key things I need to know that I can actually win the work and that I can help you. And then we invite them to buy, right? We say, would you like to do X next? And there's some kind of call to action. One of the things I talk about in How Good Humans Sell is that it doesn't matter what you sell. There's some key things you always need to ask. So somehow, it doesn't have to all be in the first conversation. It could be that some of the information is on a form they fill out on your website. It could be that some of the information comes over email, or you learn this part in this conversation with the first time I talked to the company, and the second time I talked to that same person and their partner, and then I learned the rest of the information. It doesn't matter. But what I would want your listeners to understand is if you sell something pretty complicated, and I'd say complicated is, something that's a 5, 6, 7-figure item, you do not want to send a proposal and you do not want to send a draft contract until you are certain you're talking to the buyer, right? Because that's easy to actually misunderstand. You understand what else they've tried and why they're looking. You have actually told them what this is going to cost. Like a lot of people who feel anxious talking about money will throw a proposal over the fence and try to get the proposal to sell for them instead of vetting people on price early, which I think that's a real disservice. That's kind of a chicken way to go about it. What happens is it really lowers your close rate because people are surprised. They're disappointed and surprised because you didn't bring it up earlier. So these things that I call the magic topics, they're all knowable things. They're all things you can ask about in a natural conversation, and they're all learnable.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what do you think is, I hear all of that, and all of that, what you said, I think was gold. Like what you just told people, I'm like, girl, if somebody had told me about this stuff early on, I learned it all the hard way. But
that's why I wrote the book.
But what kinds of tools do people have to have in place to get this information or to prepare the proposals or, to even go back and forth and try to have multiple sales conversations? Like, what kinds of tools do they need to have?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a really great question. I haven't been asked that before. I'm going to name two that come to mind. And that's not in any way to dismiss anything Paul said earlier. Like, I think if you want to market and sell today, you have to figure out what you're doing online. So most of my clients mine are on LinkedIn, and then some on Facebook and some Instagram, but they're using LinkedIn very heavily in the industries we're in. So they're going to have a profile and should treat their profile really basically like a website. Your about section needs to read like your website so that person who comes and reads about you knows how you can help, right? It's not your resume. Nobody wants to read your resume. Plus, that's what the second half of the LinkedIn profile is. The top part is really you sharing how you help. So yes to all that. The two things I would say a person also needs are you actually need a way to track who you're talking to. So there are a zillion CRMs out there, and everybody's got an opinion, and some are integrated with your email marketing and some aren't. And there's pros and cons to all these different things. I don't care if you start on a spreadsheet, which lots of people do when they're a startup. You actually need to track who you're talking to, what you told them last, and what you said you would do next. And so a customer relationship management database, a CRM of some kind, many are free to start out with. Or many, I just upgraded from one I was using that was free forever, and now it's $30 a month. I mean, it just does not have to be a lot of money for that small business owner, but you really do need to track who you're talking to so that you can use that data for marketing and have those email lists all in the same place and things like that. The second thing that I'm going to say might be a surprise to some of your listeners. You really need multiple versions of your value proposition. When I say your value proposition, what I mean is a 2 to 3 sentence construction that you write where the first sentence always lists either the challenge that your ideal client is experiencing or an outcome they want to have. So the first sentence can say something like, for example, for my sales training for a long time, my website used to say, business owners are frustrated when their sales teams don't perform well and they don't know why. ExtraBold Sales has a sales system to help your team have their best year ever. Okay, that's all it said. It was 2 sentences. Who was my buyer? Business owner. What was their problem? Sales team was not performing. Do we know why? Nope. Don't know why. Need someone to tell me. Okay, so everyone can do something like that where the first sentence is about who you help. Second sentence is how you help. This is called a value proposition. You don't have just one. Like you probably have 50 in the things you do, because you can have one for different products, you can have one for different audiences, and there's no wrong answer. But if you write this, if you take the time to think through this, you can use this for social. This will inform your ads, the ads that people click on. This is your about section on your LinkedIn. This is your Facebook posts that you use different variations over and over to get engagement. Why does it work? Because the first sentence is about a person who is the reader, right? They're drawn into a story because they go, that's my problem. So a value proposition combined with a way to track who you're talking to, that will get you a long way. And by the way, those can be pretty low tech things. I think the barrier to entry is pretty low.
I love it. I love it. Catherine, you just dropped like a mega pearl out here, because I honestly didn't think about that myself. But let's put a pin in it. And when we come right back, we're going to talk more with Catherine Brown about how to level up your sales process. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. You're watching the SmallBizChat podcast, and we will be right back.
Are you ready to become a boss? Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. Click the button below and take my free boss quiz. This assessment will help you learn your entrepreneur type and find the right business model for you. Get this information about the #1 asset in your business. Yeah, that's you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SmallBizChat podcast. I'm here with my guest, Catherine Brown, the author of How Good Humans Sell. All right, Catherine, I want to jump back into this. Tell me about When is it the right time to bring in a salesperson to help you with your sales and your business?
Yes, because I shared earlier that I think people do this too soon. So let me tell you why you don't want to do it too soon, and I will answer your question. You don't want to hire someone in many cases as soon as your emotions tell you want to, because if you are really truly just getting started in your small business, if you're very early, there's things that you basically have to pay to learn. No matter, and I loved your book and I read every word of it. And I think the outline of the steps were so great in, how to become your own boss in 12 months. And I appreciate that you shared, you're going to do all these things and you're going to have to keep tweaking them because you're not going to get everything right the first time. It's not going to be perfect. Every business pivots in its message, its audience, who you go to, what the product needs, etc. So the problem is if you hire too early, you end up blaming the salesperson and you don't actually know what the problem was. And I see this all the time in business to business. Let's say it's a software startup of some kind. People say, you know what, I'm going to hire this person. And they said they'd work for 100% commission only. And they have all the connections in the area. So there's not much risk to me. And they're going to take these accounts and they're going to go sell for me. Well, the problem is you're still not completely sure of exactly who you're serving. You think you know, but you're still testing it out because it's really early and you only have 3 clients or even 13 clients. You're just getting started. And so you don't know if it's the messaging that's a problem. You don't know if the person doesn't have a good work ethic. You don't know if people actually, you have, a customer service or delivery issue yet. It's just so early that you don't know if they struggle. You don't know why. And if you will learn to feel comfortable enough to be the seller for a period of time, I would say a sign that you're ready to hire is that you can articulate, I really do know the niche that we're serving. I understand why they're buying from me. I can prove that I've tested this. And I also have a sense of that sales process you asked me about earlier. So now when someone comes in, I can coach them and say, so here's what I found. We tend to have to talk to this many people to get this many to watch a demo. And this many who watch a demo, this many convert. Those things are all knowable with practice. So are you saying like 18 to 24 months you should sell yourself? Well, certainly at least a year, right? I mean, the thing is time flies so fast, a person may refer to themselves as a startup for year 1 to 3 because there's still things they're figuring out. So I certainly wouldn't do it in the first year, maybe 18 to 24 months, depending on really what kind of head start you had and how much certainty you had. I will tell you, I have had my current sales training business for 6 years. I had another kind of firm before that. And I started out serving entrepreneurs. Then I did a bunch of bigger corporate teams and I've come full circle and I'm back around more to entrepreneurs again. And I teach this stuff. Okay. And in 6 years, it's changed. It's evolved some. And so I think you need at least a little bit of time to have some certainty. Unless you just want to flush your money down the toilet. I mean, you're welcome to hire somebody, but we're trying to be shrewd in our hiring and be careful. So I think there's a certain amount of confidence you need to have in that value proposition and a clarified sales process, and then you can make that hire.
So what kinds of structure for your sales process do you need to have internally before you hire a salesperson? Because I think sometimes people will hire a salesperson and they really don't even understand what they need to do to support that person or what kinds of things they need to have in place, materials, technology, whatever, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, most people you need something to share. You need an asset to share in addition to the website. So how can I share content that shows our thought leadership in a certain area? It might be there's a case study. It might be that you have a checklist or a quiz or something you've developed that's actually like how to know X in X time, right? What's the problem you solve and how can that be turned into something that is shareable? So there's sort of basic assets that I think are good to have. How have you documented your own work? So you know the process, then you can see what they're doing. So now every CRM is in the cloud. The person doesn't even have to share the same physical proximity as you, but you need to have the thing set up so you can actually see if people are working. And I don't mean that in a big brother way, but if you have done the work of figuring out your process, then you will know, you know what? Here's the thing. I already did the work. So I know that actually it's very reasonable for someone to call 30 people in a day. I know it because I did it.
Right.
So if someone tells you that just can't be done, well, that's just not true because you did it. So you know, you don't have to do it forever, but you need to do things enough that you can have confidence that to be also think about fairness to the person. You're bringing a person in, and if you can't set their expectations about this is generally how long the sales process has been up until now, and here are the key steps. If you can't map out that stuff for someone, what are they stepping into?
A mess.
Yeah, it's just not fair, right? It's just not fair because unless you say, hey, come ugly early with me, I don't know anything, I'll just pay you anyway. If a person's in a position to do that, that's fine, really. I mean, that's fine. But most of us were bootstrapping and we want to figure this stuff out as fast as we can and then turn around and use the profits toward hiring people. That's how many services firms do it. So, we're trying to be very shrewd about the money.
Definitely. No small business can throw away money. That's for sure. Now, last question, Catherine, what is the best business advice you've ever been given?
Yes. So I'm actually going to piggyback on something Paul said earlier. And when he said it, I thought, I'm going to sound like a copier, but I promise I have thought about this before. So our theme is this idea of something being enough, right? Not waiting until you have something perfect. So my expression, I say all the time in my business, I taught it to my grown kids now, is that perfect is the enemy of good. And the expression, actually, many people will say perfect is the enemy of good enough. And that's not actually how the quote goes. It's perfect is the enemy of good. Because truly, what I can offer can be good and it can make a real difference for someone. And it does not have to be perfect. People who take risks will fail. But people who have huge wins were people who took risks. It's like a logic equation. You really can't have one without the other. And so getting comfortable with that has been a really big part of that for me.
Love it. Thank you so much, Catherine. Your book, How Good Humans Sell, I really enjoyed it. And so that's why I was so excited to finally have our schedules sync up so I can get you on the show because it's absolutely a great book.
Thank you so much.
When we come back, we're going to be talking with an expert who's going to teach you about how to launch a business online, especially if it's a coaching business. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. You're watching the Small Biz Chat podcast, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and I want to welcome you to Small Biz Lady University. Our mission here is to end small business failure. So all of the courses here are about two things: how to become your own boss or how to make money online. So that's what we do here. So whether you want to learn about email marketing and sales funnels, or you're ready to get started with social media selling, or if you're really just getting started with e-commerce, you might want to jump into our How to Sell and Market Online course. Either way, if you want to learn how to become your own boss and do it well, I have everything you need here at smallbizladyuniversity.com. If you have any questions or have any technical problems getting signed up, just email us at support@melindaemerson.com. Take care.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Small Biz Chat podcast. I'm Melinda Emerson, your host, and I am so excited to have my next guest here. Her name is Dawnna St. Louis, and she is an in-demand international speaker and sales and revenue acceleration coach. She is called the Coach's Coach when she works with subject matter experts to turn their expertise into high-profit coaching and speaking businesses. Next year, she will launch her Fire Brand Certified Coaching Program for those who want to be successful business coaches and have the expertise to do so. Dawnna's success growing coaching businesses and entrepreneurial firm have earned her an exclusive spot as the business coach for Goldman Sachs Minority Entrepreneurs. For more information, check out her website, firebrand.net. Dawnna, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Hey, what's up? Great to be here.
Oh my gosh, I could not wait to talk to you. You are a serial entrepreneur and you sold your business. Then you decide, I'm going to coach other entrepreneurs so that they can be better. So tell me, how did you become the coach's coach?
Yeah, by failing. Seriously. I was homeless when I was 19. I sold my tech consultancy for $250 million by the time I was 39. I decided that I was going to go out and be a speaker because someone told me I should do that. So, hey, I'm going to go do that. And crickets. Crickets. So with all this expertise, with all this credential, with all the stuff that I knew, I was doing what most people do when they want to get on stage. They were being somebody to everybody, which means they were nobody to anybody, right? Like it was just horrible. And so I decided really to take the methodology that I had used to build a very successful tech consultancy, a very successful hotel wireless company, and then move that over into coaching. I'm going to coach other people how to actually run successful businesses. I applied my methodology to that business. I had not applied it to my speaking business. I had only applied it to my coaching business. My coaching business took off. And then all of a sudden, I was getting pulled onto stages. The very first lesson that I learned was critical was this. Being a professional is required, but if you want to get paid, you got to be an expert.
Love it. Love it. I think that is so true. Now, turning that expertise, though, because most coaches are engaging people through online marketing. So what are the biggest challenges you see out here for people out here in this wild, wild world of online marketing?
Being a jack of all trades. they think because they give their cousin, their auntie, and their uncle good advice on Thursday that somebody's going to pay them on Friday. And that is not how it works. They don't have a methodology. They're not niching down. They're not selecting the ideal clients that they want to work with. They keep treating their business like a public park and not like a private club. They're letting everybody in.
Problem. So once you know who it is you want to target, what are some very effective marketing strategies?
Well, I would say the first thing is we don't do the whole thing. Like you'll hear a lot of these people say, you want to get 1,000 people on your masterclass for free. We don't do free. We don't do anything for free in my company. Everything that we do is something that's paid in some way, shape, or form. People who are not willing to invest in themselves are not my ideal client. So that's number one, first and foremost for us. So I would say the first thing is stop chasing free people who are trying to throw something together like a Franken business. They're just taking all these free pieces and sliding together and hope they have something. You got to stop doing that. Your ideal client is willing to pay you. That would be number one. Stop doing free.
All right. So if you're not going to do free, how do you get leads to pay you? I mean, how are you driving leads into your business?
Well, for me, I'll tell you what we do specifically. We do leverage Facebook ads. We are working with a very specific company that does help us. We lead those people into, we have a very smart funnel. Is the best way for us to say it. We have a very smart funnel. We do pick up the phone. I know it's going to sound crazy. Listen to me carefully. There's this new thing. It's called a cell phone, right? And people will give you their phone number, and you could call them and actually have a conversation. Isn't that crazy? And then you can turn that conversation to a sales call. You don't need to have 1,000 people. We turned 8 people into $55,000 last week. There wasn't 1,000 people on our program. There were 8. 8.
Got it.
So pick up the phone, talk to people. Stop expecting people to, come to your site, click and buy. People are smarter than that. They want to know that there's a human being on the other side of that product.
So if you're launching a new course or a new program, you're saying set up the ads, set up your landing page, and then have a low ticket. Yes, have a low ticket item. So also I'll be very specific. I don't mind giving away our deets. We have a low ticket item, which is a workbook. That workbook is it's $77, but if you give us your cell phone number, it's $27. So what do we have now? A phone number. And then we have a bump offer. You want the videos that go along with this workbook? Because we can show you how to be an in-demand coach. People buy the videos. Somebody who's bought a workbook and a video and has left me their cell phone number will get a phone call. There you go. Right. And then we'll drive them into master classes. We do 3 master classes a month that are 90 minutes that are open not only to our members. Our members, obviously, it's free, but to outside people. So we have a very smart funnel. It's very simple, but it works. People are doing too many
They have 8 million things at the top of their funnel for free. And then they're wondering why their ads aren't working and people are confused. Be very specific about what you're offering your clients and then bring them in, and be very specific about who you're offering it to.
Now, what else are you using though? So you're using the phone, but you're using email. What other tools are you using to run your sort of like sales process?
Yeah, so I personally hate zombie emails and I hate free groups. Absolutely hate them. If you're on my list and you don't click after a couple of months, you're probably not on my list anymore. So I don't like zombie email lists, and I don't like sending out emails every day. So one of the things that we do is we're very purposeful about what we send out and why we send it out. So when we send out an email, generally there's some value, like real value, like a did you know, here's a tip and trick that we're sending out. And then people reach back to us lots of times like, oh my gosh, that was valuable. The other thing that we did that is honestly super smart is when people go and they sign up, they give us their phone number, they sign up even before they've purchased anything. We put them in a members area that has a bunch of free stuff, quote unquote, that they can look at. But that same members area is a marketing tool for us. So they see all the stuff they're not getting.
Interesting.
And if they want to get that stuff, they generally have to have a phone call with one of our people. Because we're not really trying to get people to go online and just buy. Have a conversation with us.
Right. So you're like, you can't even buy from us until we know who you are, that you're really like our best type customer.
Because not everyone is our ideal client, and and what we offer won't help everyone. So we want to be crystal clear that I've had people that say, well, I want to have a big viral promise. And I'm like, okay, cool. Tell me what you do. But they're all over the place. And I'll say that workbook isn't going to help you because you haven't identified your area of expertise yet. So I will slow people down. I've refunded people's money because I'm like, this isn't really going to help you, even after they've downloaded it.
Interesting. So what do you think the biggest challenges that new coaches have versus experienced coaches?
New coaches are trying to serve everyone. They're really scared to niche down in their market, and they absolutely don't want to sell. And they think, I'm an expert, so people should give me money, and it just doesn't work that way.
What about experienced coaches?
Experienced coaches are having a really hard time defining exactly how they go from a level 1 coach to a level 2 coach to a level 3 coach. They don't know how to level up. So they think all they really have to do is keep doing more of the same. And because many of them lack a methodology, they don't have a duplication process, which makes it impossible for them to scale. You have to be able to scale. If you are the only coach in your business, the only thing you really can do is sell more expensive stuff, sell more evergreen stuff, or duplicate yourself. Duplicating yourself is truly where you want to get to.
Interesting. So you say that a lot of your information is contrary to what's out there. Why do you think that?
Because quite honestly, I've been fortunate enough to be in the rooms with people who have a couple of commas and maybe 3 commas in their bank account. And what I've learned from them over the years is quite contrary to what most people are saying out in these streets. So again, I'll hear a lot of people go, you want to put on a webinar and you want to get 1,000 people do it. I'm like, you want to put on a webinar and you want to get like really 10 good solid folks, right? A lot of people say you got to do a bunch of free stuff. And I'm like, don't do stuff for free, so, right. You really, you can't niche in that tight, niche in a little tighter. Just a little bit more. You don't really have a competitor. You have a competitor, you do, and you should be doing a competitive analysis and recognizing what you're doing differently. You're unique because you're you. No, what gives you a unique selling proposition is that you have a unique methodology. So,
got it.
Those types of things.
So listen, tell me, what is the best business advice you've ever gotten?
If you want to have lunch with Benjamin, you got to stop chasing Washington. That's probably the best advice. And the second best advice I would say, it's one that honestly I give myself and I do give other people. If you want to have more commas in your bank account, you got to take it out of your expertise.
What do you mean by that?
Because if I go to someone's LinkedIn profile and they do sales, marketing, social media strategy, makeup, toenails, hair, and then they will come in on a Wednesday and they'll wash your car, I probably have no idea what they're selling. But when I listen to someone like a Catherine Brown say, hey, you know what? I do sales, and it's that, right? Then I know specifically what she does. I know exactly how to drive business to her. When I hear someone like a Paul Getter say what he does, I know how to drive business to him because he does one thing. Does it mean that he can only do one thing? No, he's a brilliant person. He can do lots of things. Catherine can do tons of things, right? Listen, I write code, y'all. I mean, PMP, Six Sigma Black Belt, ran a $250 million tech consultancy, know more about data than I should. However, I don't put all those commas behind my expertise. I do one thing. I'm a revenue acceleration coach. I help people who are entrepreneurs and in the sales side of a business make more money faster.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for drilling that down because I think that was so powerful. That was so powerful for people. And speaking of Catherine Brown and Paul Getter, I want to bring them back on so we can do my favorite part of the show that I like to call hit it and quit it. Okay, this is how this works. So I'm going to bring all of you guys back on right now. I'm going to ask all of you the same 4 questions, and you only have 30 seconds to answer, and you cannot repeat somebody else's answer. If you do, I'm going to give you the cowbell. Okay. I don't want to give y'all that. So, all right. So, Paul, you've been on ice the longest. So I'm coming to you first, then you, Catherine, then you, Dawnna. So first question, what is your favorite podcast? Easy peasy.
I like the Joe. So last week ago was the first time I listened to it. The Joe Rogan show. It's a mixture between humor, education, weird. It's pretty entertaining.
You had 3 hours to listen to that guy. I'm shocked.
you listen to it in bite sizes. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Catherine, what's your favorite podcast?
Okay, since I have 30 seconds, I'm going to say 2. 1, I love Armchair Experts. The people he gets are amazing, and it crosses, politics and entertainment and business. I also am really enjoying the Ed Milet show lately. I think he is amazing and a very interesting kind of motivational speaker, and I really resonate with him. So I'm enjoying both of those.
Love it. Love it. All right, Dawnna, what's your favorite podcast?
Serial killers.
Say it one more time.
Serial killers.
Serial killers. Okay.
I'm so serious. Serial Killers is my favorite podcast. And quite honestly, you can learn a lot about the psychology of marketing by listening to it.
Fascinating. I had to check that out. I've never listened to that. All right. Question 2. Catherine, I'm coming to you first, then you, Dawnna, then you, Paul. All right. What is your favorite business app? Favorite business app? Catherine.
Probably Slack. Probably the app Slack.
All right. Dawnna, what's your favorite app?
Kartra.
Okay. Love it. All right, Paul, what's your favorite app?
ClickFunnels.
Yes. Russell Brunson. Love it. All right. Next question. Dawnna, I'm coming to you first, then you, Paul, then you, Catherine. What is your favorite old school marketing tip? Okay.
Old school marketing tip?
Old school.
Oh, send out a postcard.
Postcard mailer. Yes. Love it. Yeah. All right, Paul, what's your favorite old school marketing tip?
Well, I think Dawnna would appreciate this. The riches are in the niches.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Catherine, what is your favorite old school marketing tip?
Mine's like Dawnna's, and it's also mailing, but mailing something that's puffy. So giving something away that makes the package a little bit bigger and of interest. So you put a promotional product in there, or, something that makes it interesting to open.
I once had a guy mail me a shoe. He said he was trying to get his foot in the door. So I get it. I completely get it.
Hey, postcards got 100% open rate.
Right? No, direct mail is definitely coming back. People forget about it, but direct mail is important. All right. Last question, guys. And I'm coming to Paul, you first, Dawnna, you second, Catherine, you third. What is the best business book you've ever read? Best business book.
This might be a non-traditional answer, but some of my greatest wisdom and greatest insight that I apply to my business, my life, everything is God's word, the Holy Bible.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's the first time I've heard that, but I'll take it. I'll take it as a business guide for sure. I know it's a good book anyway. All right. All right. Dawnna, what you got? What's your favorite business book?
Seriously, Paul? Okay, because mine is Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah. Some devils, some angels. What can we say?
You could not say that.
Outwitting the Devil. You guys are hitting us with some new stuff.
I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you.
Podcast. Never quite heard that. All right, Catherine, Lord, what is your book?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, wait.
Every few years, I do reread the E-Myth. I mean, I just think working on your business instead of in it is a constant challenge for me. It is. And so every few years I reread it.
I love that book too. My favorite book is Disrupt You by Jay Samit, because he says in order to disrupt the world, the first person you have to disrupt is yourself. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys so much. You have been such an amazing bunch of guests. Please check out Paul Getter, the internet marketing nerd. Go to paulgetter.com. Thank you so much to sales expert Catherine Brown. Go grab her book, How Good Humans Sell. And absolutely, if you are a coach in need of direction, you need Dawnna St. Louis. Check out her coaching programs at firebrand.net. And fire is spelled with a Y. All right. If you are interested in learning about what kind of boss you might be, I want you to head over to bossquiz.com and get your complete business profile so that you can figure out the right business opportunity for you. Thank you all for joining me for another edition of the Small Biz Chat podcast. You know, our mission here is to end small business failure. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and I want to leave you with this. You never lose in business. Either you win or you learn. God bless everybody.